Welcome back to all our friends, family, and yes, even our foes. To the Foxx Den Sports Podcast, where Todd and his sports-passionate kids are ready to bring you the latest updates and insights on all things sports. So sit back, relax, and enjoy the show.
Welcome back to the Foxx Den Sports Podcast. I'm your host, the Podfather, along with the dog, Kellen Fox, my oldest son. Dog, let's just jump right into it. I've got a couple questions. I know you get some questions you want to ask, but I want to talk about the Oklahoma City Thunder 12-game winning streak right now. We're at 57-15. We are a net rating of 11.2. We're number one in that. We're first in defensive rating at 107.3. My question is this: with 10 games left, and looks like right now we're peaking at the right time, or is it possibility of this is a possibility of burnout before the playoffs start? What are your thoughts?
I don't think it's a burnout. I think we're like, what, 14? I think, well, maybe it's 15-1 now since the All-Star break, and this is like the toughest stretch of the season for us. We had a rough few games whenever like we hit that part where they said we went from one of the easier schedules to the hardest remaining schedule, but we've been looking very hot. Shai, no matter who's playing, who's hurt, who's in, always seems to find a way to lead us to victory. And now that with the addition of Dub, and tomorrow will be our first fully healthy game, I don't know if it's all season or at least since December, I think we're peaking at the right time. So I don't think we're just going to be burnout. I think we're just ramping up and getting ready for the playoffs. I can't wait.
Well, I know the 2015-2016 Warriors started 24-1, same thing we did earlier this season. They ran out of gas in the finals. However, my thoughts are we don't need a whole lot of load management due to the fact of being a younger team. We're not an older team, so we've got youngsters out there. Now, we have done some load management at times, which I think will hopefully pay dividends later on in the playoffs. So I feel pretty comfortable with it currently. Back-to-back games, maybe something, if there's any more left in the rest of the season, we may need to look at. But as far as I'm concerned, I think we're good. And then my next question is Shai. He's averaging 31.5 points, 6.6 assists per game, and 1.4 steals a game. He's a reigning MVP, Finals MVP, but Wembanyama is closing the gap a little bit late this season. Is Shai being taken for granted in the MVP race because excellence has become his baseline?
No, everybody knows, any real former NBA players, current NBA players, everybody knows who the MVP is. To begin the year for half the season, it was Shai or Jokic. Then it was Shai or Cade. Then it was Shai or Wemby. Then it was Shai or Jaylen Brown. Then it was Shai or Luka. Now it's Shai or Wemby. The common denominator is Shai, and I think consistently the MVP is a full season, not who's had the best month. So for Twitter people and some ESPN people like that, everybody's just riding on whatever's hot right now. But when it comes down to it, everybody knows who the MVP is. Wemby will probably win like the next 3, maybe 4, who knows. But I think this season is Shai's time, and I just don't think there's really any debate.
Yeah, I know Wembanyama is averaging nearly a triple-double with blocks. He's dragged his younger Spurs teammates to the number 2 seed. I know there's talk out there, hypothetically, if the Thunder were to give up the number 1 seed and the Spurs take over, it's a possibility that Wemby wins. But my thoughts are, I mean, Shai's the leading scorer for the first-place team. If the season ended today, he's the undisputed back-to-back MVP. I mean, he's got 13 games with over 40 points this season. So I think it's a slam dunk at this point. Can't never say never, but that's what I'm thinking currently. What question do you got? Question or questions?
Yeah, and it's not all about leading scorer either. Shai does a lot more than that. He opens the floor for everybody. He's clutch, and he's consistent. Wemby's very good, but he's not 100% consistent yet. He's getting there, but I just think it's just not even a real conversation yet, just based on what we've seen all season. I mean, right now we have the toughest remaining schedule for like 10 games or so. I think Spurs have the 21st or 22nd.
Really? Okay.
So I mean, we're gonna have to play hard to keep that number 1 seed because they're right there. But I mean, it's between those two teams. There's nobody else is even close. They're both going to be first. One of them is going to be first in the NBA. Should be OKC, but who knows?
Sure. But do you have a question?
I guess kind of. I've just seen some interesting stuff on the internet. To people trying to rank. I was curious. Who do you think are? Obviously, I know number 1, but top 3 point guards in the league right now.
Who are the top 3?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, Shai's number
1. Yeah.
Is Edwards considered point guard? Anthony Edwards?
No, I think he's a shooting guard.
He's more of a shooting guard. Man.
Yeah. So, I mean, really, the top ones off the top of my head. Yeah, but he's just ball dominant. But, I mean, top in my head, and they also don't have a good point guard over there. But it's.
What about Brunson?
I guess it's really like Shai, Luka, Brunson, or Cade kind of is kind of the top Cade, 4. Yeah. And I've just seen a debate on who the 3 out of those are the best. Or who's the best 3? Because I saw one. It's like, who would you take out if you had it? So those are probably the top 4. Unless there's somebody I'm not thinking of.
I'm not saying I would take him out, but but he doesn't play any defense at all. So I don't. But he's a score machine, that's for sure, and I'm not going to take that away from him. Cade, I think, is just a tier below from an all around type of a player, and then Brunson, I think, would probably, in my opinion, probably be the number 4 guy.
That's what I'm thinking. He's very good.
Yeah.
But Cade plays better winning basketball, and Luka, he can carry your team in points if he's shooting decent that night. He's not always the most efficient, but he can score.
Sure. Well, I know J-Dub has been limited to just 26 games this season. He came back was that last night against Philadelphia. He's averaging 17.5 points per game, 5.4 assists per game. Can the Thunder successfully integrate a high usage player like J-Dub into a 12-game winning streak rhythm without disrupting this flow that we've got going on right now? I mean, they did it last night, but then again, Philadelphia, I think, was out with their top 4 players. Not that I'm not going to act like it wouldn't have made a huge difference. It still would have made a difference. I think we still win regardless. But they put him in last night. He played 20.
Yeah, I think we'll be fine because honestly, like, we've needed somebody who's a little more dominant, especially when Shai is resting.
Yeah,
AJ Mitchell's been good. But obviously nowhere near J-Dub's level yet.
Yeah.
People like McCain's good. He feeds off the energy. Isaiah Joe's good, but he's usually at his best when we're already winning.
Yeah.
So I think we'll be perfectly fine integrating Dub back in because we've had some guys that aren't quite as consistent that are either their minutes are gonna drop or they might lose all their minutes entirely come playoffs. So I think Dub's back at the perfect time. It gives him a couple 2.5 weeks or so to really get back into the rhythm. And yeah, I don't see any problems. Especially he's been playing well the last night and the last couple of games that he played before he got hurt again. So people were frustrated with him when he first came back in December, but he still wasn't 100% from that wrist. So right. I think the hamstring forced him to rest longer than anticipated, and I think the wrist is back. So we'll be fine.
Well, and playing devil's advocate just a little bit, I know chemistry is fragile. I just hope him coming back doesn't take any momentum away from a guy like Cason Wallace, who's stepped up this season in his absence. I don't think it will, but I do think, that always concerns me in the back of my head. But I think he's the ultimate connector. His ability to basically play make. I mean, he's a playmaker. And he relieves pressure, like you just said a minute ago, off of Shai, and that's desperately what Shai needs right now, going into these playoffs, is to have that with him.
Yeah, and I just think our team is so close, and they're all friends and buds. Like I think chemistry is just going to be there. I think they have so much chemistry off the court, it's going to stay on the court. And Dub said it's been helpful for him that through most of this rehab, he has traveled with the team a lot. That doesn't happen all the time when you're hurt. So the chemistry's still there, the camaraderie is still there, and I don't think it'll be too bad. I know like you said, Case and Wallace, but he even when Shai came back from an injury, his shooting went down. Like I don't know. I'm sure the percentage went down, but definitely the amount of shots per game.
Yeah,
he's more of a defender anyway, so I think he'll step up when needed. But I think when he's fully focused on his defense, we'll be fine. He'll get 6 to 8 points a game sometimes just off his own steals. So if that's all he does, surely we'll be fine because we just need him to play defense.
100%. I agree. Oklahoma City travels to Boston tomorrow. Boston's second in the East. Oklahoma City's number 1 in the West. Some consider this as a possible finals preview. Is this a must-win game for the Thunder tomorrow for their psyche, or just basically another game on the calendar?
I don't think must win. We'd all love them to win, obviously, but we want them to win every game. But for psyche, it's like they're on a five road game stretch. I don't even know how to say that.
Yeah,
they've won the first 4, so if you lose the last one, it's like you assume you're going to lose a game sometimes when you're on the road for that long. They're going to be. I mean, they've got a decent amount of rest on this road trip, which has been nice. But I mean, they're going to be tired. Boston is good. They're going to be fully healthy compared to the last time when we played them. So both teams are going to be way healthier playing each other. I don't think it's a must win. I'd like to see them win, but it's not the end of the world if they lose.
Yeah, and I don't know if I would call it a must win. I know, again, like you said a little bit ago, we've got a tough rest of the season coming up versus somebody like a San Antonio. But if we could just get this one, get this game for sure. I know we played Lakers a couple of different times later on in the season. I know we played Detroit here at home, but that's it. That's without Cade. I know we played the Bulls. Let me see who else real quick. I had it up. Utah, Denver. We do play at Denver, and then we finish the season up against Phoenix, and we do play the Clippers. So I kind of went through everybody, the Knicks. So there's some tough games in there. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 games remaining, correct? Let's go 7-3. But the only problem with being 7-3 is that would probably put us at a tie with San Antonio, and they lose. So 8-2. But
that's assuming they go 10.
Right. That is. You're right. I agree.
Which they could do. I mean, they've won like 26 of the last 28 or something like that.
They're incredible. And then I know there was some. I don't know if you heard on the Sports Talk today. One of the people on the Sports Talk radio was talking about how Thunder fans never give Wemby any credit, and all they do is rip on him and can't stand him. And I did call in and just said, look, here's the thing. Like I respect the heck out of him. I'm not a big fan of him because he plays for the Spurs. I said I want to beat him, but he's, and we said it last week or the week before last that he's going to be a thorn in the Thunder's side for 10 to 12 years, if not even more. If he stays healthy, he'll be a thorn in our side for quite some time. He's going to most likely dominate the league. But I don't hate the guy. I just want to beat him. And I know he gave.
Yeah, I also just think he's kind of a clown at times.
Yeah, celebrating that one victory against was it against us?
Crying after beating teams.
Yeah. Crying, yeah.
He's celebrating a lot of victories. He cried after coming back and beat the Clippers. A couple days ago, he gave 3 reasons why he should be MVP, and everybody's clowned Jaylen Brown, rightfully so, for doing that. Everybody clowned Embiid a few years ago for doing that. The 2 guys that have been winning the MVPs don't give a rip about it. They care about winning games, and they win the MVPs while they're at it. So I don't like that kind of stuff. He's just kind of. People don't want to admit it. He's very cringy. He's copying a lot of our celebrations. He's getting the team around him while he's on the interviewing after the games now. But I'm not going to say he's not good like a lot of people say. He is very good. He's probably going to be, like I said, 3 or 4 MVPs in a row after this. I wouldn't be surprised as long as he hits those 65 games. So,
oh, yeah.
We'll see.
Yeah, I agree 100% with that as well. I know Clay and I was hoping he would be on here at this point. We went to the March Madness here in Oklahoma City. this past weekend. We went all day Thursday, 4 different games, and then we did the Saturday game, the 2 games as well, and it was pretty impressive. And I just wanted to say a couple things about that. I know the Nebraska fans showed up. They were incredible. I mean, we saw it just driving up. They were everywhere, and it was very impressive. They played the very first game Thursday and showed up for that. That place was loud. It was rocking. I know I heard something, the decimals were as big or higher than the Thunder games, and maybe that's accurate. I don't know.
I don't think that's actually true.
I don't know. I mean, I wasn't there for the final game for the Thunder, but I can just tell you I've heard it be very loud in there, as you have too. You're talking about a 15,000 plus stadium, and I would venture to guess probably 11 and a half, maybe 12, if that, were Nebraska fans, and they were cheering. I'll give them that. But when you're talking about a Thunder team that won the championship with all those people there, there's no shot, in my opinion, that they were any louder. But give it up to them. Huge props. What I wanted to say was what I didn't realize going to these games is people come from all over. Not just, I figured it was going to be more local people or fans of teams. People came in, this probably 35-year-old man and woman, married. They drove up from Abilene earlier in the day to watch on Thursday. I go, "You got a team?" They go, "No, we're just here to watch." There was a guy sitting next to Clay, Nebraska. He was with his wife and kid. Never been to Oklahoma City before. Thought it was pretty cool, but he gave, Oklahoma some props on how well he thought the stadium looked and all that. But regardless, I mean, he was pretty cool. There was a guy sitting right next to me with the North Carolina Tar Heels quarter zip on. I said, "You Tar Heels fan, obviously." And he said, "Yeah, born there." And I said, "Whereabouts?" He started trying to explain the triangle to me, with Duke and North Carolina State. And I was like, "Yeah, I've lived there for 2 years, working in Cary at the Bass Pro Shops there, the store manager." And he thought that was pretty cool. He was born and raised there. He showed a picture of him and Dean Smith, the legendary coach from North Carolina. He went to the basketball camps of his. But anyway, my point of all that is it's so cool to see all these different people come into these events. And I never really thought about that. This was a bucket list thing for me to go once. The guy next to me had been every year since 1999. I thought it was impressive. A couple other guys later on that night, one of them played for Northwestern. Gavin Skelly was his name. Played for Northwestern. 2017 was his senior year. His brother Shane played for a team. It was Penn State, but it wasn't the Nittany Lions. It was a different kind of college, Penn State. But their dad was there as well. And they all came. They've been coming for about 4 or 5 years to these different events. They'd never been to Oklahoma City. They're from Cleveland, Ohio. It was just cool just to talk to different people from all around. Asked them if they were Browns fans. They, unfortunately they said yeah, but it was just pretty impressive to me to see that. I know the guy said that he played against Trae Young in 2017. Trae was sitting at the end of the bench during warm-ups, wasn't even out there really warming up, but he's just sitting there and he was like, "Oh, we're going to get in this guy's head. He's never seen anything like that with us before." And Trae dropped 31 points on him in a victory. So it was pretty cool. But anyway, I just wanted to kind of plug in that. It was a pretty fun time for us. Jump back real quick to the Thunder. So I know last week at this time we were talking, because we had the podcast on a Monday. It's Tuesday here now, but we had 1, 2, 3. We knew we were going to have 3 games, and we said, go 3-0, 2-1 maybe. We figured 3-0. But then since we had it, obviously not last night, Philadelphia game 1. So we've got Boston at Boston, and we got home against Chicago and home against New York on the Sunday. And then there'll be a game on next Monday night against Detroit. But let's talk about the 3 games. Expectations for you on a record: Boston, Chicago, and New York. Thunder record, those 3 games.
It's hard because it's like on paper, in my mind, I think we're better than all those teams.
Yeah.
But Boston and New York specifically are good teams.
Yeah.
So 2-1 would be good.
Sure.
I'd love 3-0, but I understand they're good teams. All it takes is them to play really well and us to not play our best, that we could drop a game to one of them. So 2-1, but hopefully 3-0.
Yeah, I agree with you 100%. I'm going to say 2-1. I don't want to be like that. I think Boston will be definitely a tough matchup. Tatum didn't play last time. I'm assuming he'll play this time. and it being in
I
Boston.
believe so.
But, our guys are going to be fired up, and they're going to want to play, and they're going to play at their best. So I'm really looking forward to that game for sure.
Yeah.
And then, so real quick on the NBA, one more thing I want to talk about is the expansion. There's talk right now of Seattle and Las Vegas getting two teams in the expansion. Whenever they do the expansion, I guess they're going to be meeting, I believe, maybe at the end of this week to vote on it. And I think it's going to happen. Seattle's probably a sure in with the Seattle SuperSonics name coming back. Seattle Sonics. I don't know which one. I'm assuming they'll call them SuperSonics maybe.
Yeah.
But regardless, if they both do join the West, which current West team, in your opinion, gets evicted or sent to the Eastern Conference? And how does that change any kind of championship landscape at all?
I mean, what I heard was it was going to be Memphis and Minnesota.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I think I think Minnesota would go over there and do really well.
Sure. Yeah.
I mean, a season like this season, they'd probably be second or third, potentially first, but second or third at worst over there, just especially with the injuries. Memphis, they're irrelevant really right now. So they're kind of in a weird rebuild stage, but those are the two teams I heard would be going over there. I don't know if anything's changed. I mean, it was a couple weeks ago since I saw that, but I think Minnesota would do really well.
Yeah, I just wonder if there would be anybody, and I don't understand how the vote goes. They may say, yeah, we're going to let them in, but this, on this stipulation, I don't see any reason why they would not allow Seattle and Las Vegas to get teams. But could there be anybody on the Eastern Conference, some of the Bostons or New Yorks, Philadelphia? It's not really Philadelphia, I guess, but some of these teams, Detroit's saying, hey, we don't want them in over here because they're too good. So we're going to block them, but we'll take Memphis or New Orleans, maybe. I don't know. It'll be definitely interesting to see. But so, and then the expansion fees are expected to hit $10 billion per team, which is huge. And it's actually deep enough to support 30 new roster spots that are going to be out there. So my question to you would be, is it watering down the NBA a little bit with adding two additional teams to what we have already?
I think so. We were kind of talking about this last night. I think it makes more sense. And I'm all for it because it's exciting and it's fun, but on paper, it makes more sense to get rid of two teams. The league is just a little watered down as it is. Tracy McGrady was saying, like, back in the day, Bam would have had no chance of dropping 83 like that because it's like the Wizards wouldn't be that bad. It's just like, because I mean, there's really, in my mind, there's really only 3 deep teams off the top of my head, and really maybe only 2, but like us, Boston, the Spurs are getting there. They're young and they need a couple more players, but they're one of the deeper teams, I'd say. But other than that, these teams really aren't that deep. They've got maybe 6 or 7 guys, sometimes 8, which, I mean, 8, all you really need in the playoffs. But it's like teams like us don't get 6th man of the year because we have so many 6th men. So I don't know. It's going to be cool, so I'm for it. But I also think that it's going to water it down a little bit because I'm thinking of all these guys in the G League. That means like 30 of them are going to be coming up because people are going to be replacing spots. So
true.
We'll see.
Well, I know there's like 30% of the league now are international players, and that's a huge explosion right there. And you just said it, like the success of the G League is honestly, it's a true farm system for the NBA. But I think there are starting caliber players on benches that will be able to be starters for either of these two teams.
That's true.
But the problem I have with it is tanking. There's already teams out there that tank, 9 teams tank, and then we're going to add 2 more to make it 11. And I'm not saying these 2 teams, but it just results in 2 more teams that are going to be tanking. So hopefully the NBA can figure out a way, and I have no idea, to fix that. But it'll be a cool thing. Would be an instant rivalry with Seattle. Definitely from their point with us, they're going to be one to gun for us. Like, we didn't do anything wrong. We just took their team. What do you think about that? Like an instant rivalry with a team like a Seattle?
I mean, I think it would be awesome. They hate us for some reason, even though it's not our fault that we got their team. We don't. They hate us because like their history is part of us. I could speak for I think probably 99%, if not 100% of OKC fans. We don't want their history, and it's no offense to them, but we're our own team. And I read that once we give them their history back, we'll have that out of every NBA team have the highest winning percentage in the league.
Right.
Like obviously we haven't been around as long, but it's been a fairly successful time that they have been around.
Yeah.
So I think the instant rivalry would be awesome. Especially Kevin Durant claims if it happens, he'd like to go into his career there. And what if, in my mind, what if Game 1 in the Coliseum, Seattle came in?
Yeah, that would be cool.
Like I could see the NBA making that the first game of the season just because it'd be huge. It would sell.
Talk about that. What was named today about the stadium? Continental Coliseum.
Hang on. Continental Coliseum. I'm just probably going to call it the Coliseum.
I like
it's
it.
a mouthful, but
I'll just say Coliseum.
Yeah, I love it.
It was cool. People would say, "Hey, we're going to go to the Peak to watch a game." Now it's, "Hey, I'm going to Paycom," but the Coliseum just sounds classy to me. I think that'll be pretty cool, and it looks like it's going to be a really neat stadium. I thought you were going to say something.
Yeah, I can't wait. It's gonna.
Oh
no, I was just going to say the Coliseum sounds cool instead of an arena or the dome. Like it's like no, this is the Coliseum, so it's just something different, and I think the renderings look awesome.
Yeah. Any thoughts on a couple good names in your opinion for the expansion in Las Vegas? Any for their nickname? What you would like to see? Because we were talking the other night, and what was that one you had?
Well, I said one. I don't know if it'd work because I don't technically like it, but it makes sense for Vegas. I was like the Las Vegas Sinners or the what did I say? Vegas Vipers or something like that, or the
Venom.
I don't know. The Venom, that's what it was.
I like
the
Venom,
Las Vegas Venom. I thought that
really cool.
Venom, I think, is the coolest one. I don't know if it has anything to do with Vegas, but it sounds cool. The double V, I think, sounds really cool. So that's my vote right now, unless I can think of something different. I haven't really seen anything online outside of somebody saying the Venom, because I did not come up with that, but I don't know.
I've seen Blackjacks. I've seen Outlaws. Vipers. I've seen those type of things like that. I saw the Las Vegas Neon because all the lights. That didn't make any sense to me. Whenever you think of Las Vegas like a basketball team, because we don't know the colors yet, what do you think of the colors? Like, what would you think? Because I think of black.
I don't know.
I think of black and a little bit of gold, but not necessarily like gold, maybe like a metallic gold of some sorts. And I don't know if that's maybe their hockey team perhaps, and that's why I'm thinking that. You got the Raiders who are in black. Of course, the A's are coming there at some point. They're green, but I don't know. I just think for whatever reason, I think of black. I like a metallic gold.
I think black for sure.
Yeah.
Gold came to mind. What about red? Kind of like a deck of cards, black and red.
Yeah. That'd be cool.
Because like black, I think if black was their primary and red the secondary, so it's heavier on the black. Like, something about it has a Vegas feel to me.
Sure.
I've never been to Vegas.
Cool. Never have. I want to go, but yeah, we'll see. Maybe at some point. All right. So I've got a couple different questions I'm going to ask you here. Let me find them real quick. All right. The first question is, what's the best type of cheese for you? What's your what's a cheese that you absolutely love and one that you could just say, I don't care if I have that anymore?
I really like cheddar.
Yeah.
It just has a little more flavor than like an American. Nothing against American, but like certain sandwiches, I like to throw cheddar on it, or sometimes provolone, depending on the meat.
Sure.
But
yeah.
What don't I like? I don't know. I'm trying to think of some that I just don't like. I don't think there's any. I also haven't tried like every cheese in the world. All the ones I have are kind of the basics. Like I like pepper jack. I like Colby Jack. I mean, I honestly, maybe if I had to choose one off the top of my head, Colby Jack is just kind of bland compared to some of the others. But I don't hate it. But if I could do without it, I wouldn't be mad if it was gone.
I like a good mozzarella though. Obviously on pizza, a little Parmesan, but I think definitely cheddar or Gouda. two ones that I really like. Brie cheese, not a biggest fan of brie cheese for me. That's just not something that I'm fond of. That's just me though. And then the next question, would you rather wear a wedding tuxedo or just a tuxedo every single day, or wear a bathing suit every single day?
Is it only a bathing suit?
I mean, I guess. What else would it be? Like you're talking about bathing suit?
Well, like, can I wear a shirt?
Yeah, I mean, sure, you can wear a shirt with it. Bathing suit.
Okay. I don't know. Some bathing suits can, if you get the right color, look just like regular shorts, as long as they don't got those freaking nets inside that are the most uncomfortable things in the world. I might lean towards bathing suit, but tuxedo would be cool at first, but that gum putting that thing on every day and it's hot. Like, I don't know.
Yeah, tuxedo would be cool. Think about bathing suit and like a t-shirt or tank or whatever. I would hope to be living in Florida, living in the beaches of Florida. That'd be fantastic. That way I could definitely have an excuse here in Oklahoma. In the wintertime, maybe a little rough, but it would be really rough in the summertime. Wearing a tuxedo all the time. I don't know how I would enjoy that at all. I don't think I would. Hold on. I think I got one more.
I got one if you need, or if you want an extra one at the end.
Yeah, go.
We always talk about Mount Rushmore. What's your Mount Rushmore things? I want to know your Mount Trashmore, your least favorite for some of the worst for fast food restaurants to you. I heard some other guys talking about that this week and got me thinking.
I mean, Burger King's number one. And these are the ones that I've had. Burger King.
Right.
Subway. I'm not a Zaxby's guy. That'd probably be one of them on there too.
That's fair.
Not a real big Zaxby's guy. Man, and another one? Man, I mean, I'd have to think about that. What are yours?
First, let's see. I had one. I know for sure Schlotsky's, because I'm also going on things I've had. That was terrible. Only time I've ever had it was at the OKC airport right before a 10-hour flight to Ecuador. Not wise. Did not feel great that flight. Started off that trip rough. But Schlotsky's was garbage. Oh, Long John Silver's. Trash. Also, fast food fish is just the creepiest thing on my mind because that's not fish. I didn't think of it until you said, but I'd throw Zaxby's on there because I just hate it. I think it's because I tried Cane's first, then I tried Zaxby's, hoping it would be like it. It's nothing like it. It's also incredibly expensive. Not good. For me, a lot of people are going to disagree with this, but I do not like Wendy's.
Okay. It's been a while since
I don't feel good when I eat it. The burgers, the meat hasn't. Yeah, granted, the one near my apartment in Atlanta was terrible every time.
Yeah.
Every time I went, the buns were like hard, but they tasted like old and slightly cold, like not room temperature, but cold.
Yeah.
The meat has no flavor. There's no like seasoned char, nothing. Not juicy. I think Wendy's is terrible.
Would you consider Little Caesars on that, or is that a different category?
If there's any pizza place in the country that's fast food, I'd say Little Caesars is the fastest of it. So I'm not mad at that either. I'm not a Little Caesars fan at all.
Yeah, I'm not a fan for sure. I mean, I've had Schlotsky's maybe twice in my life, so I can't really say. Go ahead.
Yeah. I've only had it once. It was just terrible. But I just remember, like, Little Caesars, one time you ended up with a couple of free pizzas that you brought home, and we're like, oh, yeah, free pizza. Then it's like,
yeah,
me and Mom, we knocked out probably maybe 2/3 of the first one and threw away the rest. Like, we didn't even, if we don't eat leftover pizza and we don't save it, it's bad.
I'm not a fan.
It's cardboard with ketchup and cold cheese.
It's horrible. I mean, it's horrible. I'm not a fan of, I was going to say, what is that, Del Taco either. But I know I've probably got mine all out of the way. But regardless, I mean, that's a good question. I haven't really thought of those. I'll be honest with you. I'm not a big Taco Bell fan, but I know they're not going to be on my Mount Rushmore because I would still go there over a lot of these other spots for sure. Well, the Foxx Den Sports Podcast, I'd like to thank all of our listeners for tuning in and seeing what's going on in our lives and listening to a little bit of a Thunder, a little bit of Oklahoma City Thunder action going on. So we want to thank everybody. We need everybody out there to subscribe, YouTube channel, all these different venues, send us messages. Like on TikTok, there's Instagram, there's Facebook, all kinds of places. But for the dog, I am the Podfather, and stay savage and not average, friends. Goodbye, everybody.
Welcome back to all our friends, family, and yes, even our foes, to the Foxx Den Sports Podcast, where Todd and his sports-passionate kids are ready to bring you the latest updates and insights on all things sports. So sit back, relax, and enjoy the show.